everybody, and welcome back for another Alkaline Network Battle Report. This one is number 5, and this one's going to be covering a lot of topics, everybody. I, of course, am WyoDarkWolf, and with me, as always, is my buddy Hedninger.
What's going on, guys?
And if you've been living under a rock, you may or may not know that the patch for PlayStation and PC has dropped in this past week or so. And yeah,
Got a lot of opinions floating around right now.
I've had a lot of experience with it on the PC side. Jez, you said you haven't played too much on
No,
the
I've
PlayStation
only
side.
had about 2 games worth. I mean, I'm gonna have a couple hours on it tonight, so I'll get a sort of better feel for how everything's changed. I haven't really had a chance to test any of the weapons out other than like the G3, the L96, and a couple others. But I'll be doing sort of a bit more intensive testing of guns and stuff.
Yeah, I've tested out everything for the engineer kit, and for the most part, I still prefer my SIG as my #1 gun. But
Yeah, I figure for the most part preferences aren't going to change too much, I guess. But I don't know, we'll see. I definitely want to see how the L85 is doing on PS3. See if that kind of no recoil is happening. And I definitely want to try out the F2000 as well.
For those who don't know right now, on at least the PC side of the house, it may be on the PlayStation side as well, the L85 has no recoil at full auto. So you can basically point, click, and lay waste to whatever's in front of your rifle. It has been addressed by DICE and EA. They are trying to come up with something to fix it real quick. Hopefully, maybe by the time we get the Xbox patch, it'll be ready to drop for everyone else.
Didn't you say people are getting banned from servers for using it?
Not yet, but I'm pretty sure people are going to start getting banned for it because it's a known glitch, and it's, basically, I'm using the glitch to my advantage type stuff. I mean, it's still the L85. It doesn't have the fastest fire rate, but when it's being a laser beam,
yeah, it doesn't really matter how fast
minute,
it's firing if every shot's on target.
Exactly. All you got to do is aim about level where the normal head is and just pull the trigger, and people are dead instantly. That's just kind of my view on that so far. Other than that, suppression. Oh my god. Suppression has gotten really bad.
I did actually notice I went from like 0 to 100% suppression when a rocket flew past my field of vision.
Yeah, basically, like I was telling you earlier, that, if a fly farts, you get suppressed anymore. So, there was one where I was running, and I think I was on Karkand, and a rocket flew like 30 feet away from me, and I got suppressed from it. And I was like, really? So, the suppression has been cranked up way too much, in my opinion, on this. I'd like to see it toned back down a little bit.
Yeah, I'm still kind of on the fence about this. On the boat? That's not even an analogy.
I'm on a boat.
Yeah, I'm still on the fence about this because I haven't played enough to be under heavy fire and try and fire back. That's the only thing I haven't tested yet is how much it takes away from your accuracy. But I guess I'll get a better picture of that tonight.
Also, that little buff they put back onto the Scar H, for the love of God, they should not have. That thing is back to being its laser beam that it was beforehand, and it's just absolute wrong.
That was the other one. I wanted to test the MP7 as well.
Yeah, apparently that thing's got wicked bad recoil now, to where, like, you'll pull the trigger and it'll go to the roof before you even, let off the burst. So, even though they said, oh, we're not going to tweak it, it seems like it got a pretty bad tweak to it as well.
Yeah, there's been quite a few tweaks that have been unannounced, but a lot of people have noticed. Yeah. I noticed some of them when I was on. Like, you can quit between rounds now, which is long overdue. So.
Yes, oh my god, is that long overdue. My frickin' round or match quit percentage will finally go back down.
Yeah, so basically when you're on the end game score screen, if you're on PS3, you can just hit circle to back out. B if you're on Xbox, and not sure escape. I think if you're on, I'm not even gonna say it.
Actually, it's just a on PC. It's just a button that says "quit." You click it, and it'll go, "Are you sure you want to leave the lobby?" And you just hit OK.
Yeah, so
So
yeah, that's definitely been. I mean, shit, you could do it in Bad Company too. Why couldn't you do it in Battlefield 3?
yeah, it was definitely overdue. We needed that pretty badly.
But yeah, the round time is now more obvious when you're on the end game screen. Not really that necessary, I don't think, but it's like the map changes. It's just something that's sort of just nice to have, I guess.
Yeah. Uh, Console players have also gotten the 5-map version of Wake Island, which PC sides had the whole time and is actually really enjoyable.
Yeah, I've actually
Uh,
been on that. It's a lot better than the standard three flag version. But
um,
oh, we should. There's kind of sort of a special. You can't access it through Quick Match. You have to go through the server browser, and
yep.
you want to filter out everything but Conquest Assault. Find a match that's running Conquest Assault Wake Island, and then when you're on the server screen before you join, you want to go over to the map rotation and check that it says Wake Island CAS Day 2, and that's the 5 flag version.
Well, there you go, guys. How to find it there. The rest of us on PC just go Conquest Assault. Look, Wake
Yeah,
Island.
we actually have to put together a team of hobbits and go questing to find it.
Um, Speaking of things people are probably going to be questing to find, apparently there was a little bird added to Shariki, I
Really?
believe.
I didn't even hear about
It was
that.
in. If you look at the additional patch notes of things that weren't put
Oh yeah,
out,
yeah,
they
I see it.
added one. They added that on there, and uh, apparently they want to put a lot more emphasis on having the little birds around. Which, if you have yet to play on either PlayStation or PC, uh, let's put it this way: one rocket will take out a little bird now. You don't even need to worry about using the frickin' like javelins or the AA frickin' rocket that you put on your shoulder. Just wait till that dummy comes down low enough and slow and just put a rocket right into the cockpit and destroy it. It'll work 10 times better than trying to lock onto them.
That's gonna make it easier to deal with the guys that sit on the side and repair them.
Exactly, because one rocket will drop the chopper instantly. I've done it a couple of times now. It's actually pretty funny to watch. Because they think they're all fun and safe, and then you see a rocket just scream into the cockpit and explode. That's at least for the little birds. I haven't tried it against a Venom yet. Usually, if I'm shooting at a Venom, I'm usually trying to hit the tail rotor to cause her to swing into the ground. So I don't know if that destroys it or
Well, the
not.
patch notes do
Uh,
say, just generically say aircraft, so I think we can assume they do, but I don't know. Sometimes it says one thing and the result is
and
another.
the other thing comes
Yeah.
out, yeah. I do know that one tank round will take out any of the aircraft at all. I've done that a few times now as well. So that's definitely more up to where it should have been. However, the tanks are now basically the same paper armor that the Humvees have. Um, they're so easy to take out now, it's not even funny. I know there's been maps where people won't even get in tanks anymore.
It's
I've
great.
played on a server where, it was one of the ones where you have like tons of tanks all over the place and the tanks sat completely empty. Nobody touched them because if you tried to, it's death instantly. The other thing is the SOFLAMs. Now the recon just has to put the SOFLAM down, pointing a direction, and it'll automatically laser designate anything in that area. So, regardless, now paying attention for that little red laser coming out of the SOFLAM is so much more important than anything
Oh, and
else.
speaking of red lasers, the CITV station in the tanks now give out that same red laser that the SOFLAM does, so it should make it a bit more obvious when you're being targeted by a CITV station, because it didn't used to be.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. I'm still kind of up in the air with the SOFLAM being able to just designate targets without an operator. I think it causes more of a headache than anything else, and it causes matches to slow way down.
Yeah.
I mean, I played a Rush map with, it was a 32-man server playing Rush, and it took us 30 minutes, I think, just to get past the first base. Because nobody wants to come out, because the second you move anything, those SOFLAMs designate everything. You know, the jet takes off, it's designated. The helicopter takes off, it's designated. You jump into a Jeep, it gets designated instantly. So it was like, why bother taking anything? So our whole team was basically on foot.
So I guess depending on who you're playing with, the SOFLAM's gone from one of the least used recon items to maybe one of the most overused.
I think it's going to make that change. I've only, I think, run into the MAV maybe 4 or 5 times since the patch. Not a lot of people are running it. I've seen the SOFLAM probably damn near every match.
Right.
At least one SOFLAM. So I'm pretty confident that the SOFLAM is going to be taken over as being the #1 used. Which, considering all they got to do is place it and they can run off and go back to being their usual bush Wookiee self, it's kind of a pain in the butt, really.
So what if we did mention the MAV? Now apparently people have found a way to ride them again, but we should say that now DICE are taking this really seriously, and if you do ride an MAV and get caught, there's going to be a stat wipe in your immediate future. So just keep in mind it's not a mechanic, it was never meant to be in the game, and anyone that does it is cheating and will be treated as such.
Yes, you will get your stats wiped. I'm pretty sure there's probably servers that if you're caught doing it will ban you.
Yeah, if you're on the PC side.
Yeah, on the PC side of the house. Console, well, with the rent-a-servers, I know a lot of people are complaining, well, hey, I got kicked out of this server because I killed the guy who owns it. Well, you know what? That happens. Welcome to the frickin' custom servers, buddy.
I think once the novelty of it wears off, then we might start to see people being a bit more mature about the custom servers. But you know, for now, this is like a new thing for console players, so I think you can expect people to be kind of dickish about it for a while.
Yeah. As for everyone's most hated bastard child weapon, the USAS, I have yet to run into it since the patch on PC. I haven't seen it.
It's kind of it kind of shows the fickle nature of the people that kind of, and I'm going to use the word exploit here, the people that exploit these kind of items. Like the MAV doesn't even really get neutered. It just, you can't go on a killing spree with it anymore, and suddenly you don't see it. And the USAS has decreased splash damage and a decreased rate of fire down from 275 to about 200 RPM, and suddenly it's gone. And it's not changed in any other way. It's still a full auto shotgun. It still does the same damage, and yet, just because you can't, you know, just saturate an area with explosives anymore, suddenly people don't want to use it. So, I mean, I'm not complaining because I hate that damn thing. But
no, actually, I'm pretty happy that I don't see it anymore. It's just funny. I still have to laugh at the people that are still running the FAMAs right now. Because you see them dump those 25 rounds, and then you see them take their 3 seconds to reload, and you laugh as you shoot them in the face. Other than like the L85, the new glitch for riding the MAV, I haven't seen really anything too negative about weapon-wise, except for some things have too much recoil, and other things said they were going to get recoiled, but really haven't.
Yeah, It
Uh,
seems to be like the
more
general opinion that the gunplay feels a lot different, and guns that used to be familiar now just feel kind of alien. So it's probably going to take people quite a while to get used to how everything reacts again.
Well, I mean, the G18, they were supposed to give it more recoil and stuff like that, but it still feels exactly the same prior patch from everything I've
Yeah.
seen. Because there's still people sniping with that thing, for the love of God. So I don't think the recoil that they supposedly added to it was enough, in my opinion, on the G18. But I also don't like the G18, and I think it's a noob gun, but that's just me.
I don't know. I'd
Uh,
like to think that when the patch makes it round to Xbox, sort of the complaints that are being voiced now will have made it in, and then we might start to see maybe some hot fixes or some more tweaks to the PS3 and PC side. That's what I'd like to think. I'm not sure if it'll happen, but fingers crossed, I guess.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know. I've pretty much decided that I'm just not going to play on console, period, anymore when it comes to Battlefield. Uh, the console players are just not enjoyable to play with. Sorry to everyone else that, enjoys playing on the console. It's just not that enjoyable. I'm definitely enjoying the PC side of the
No,
house a
yeah,
lot more.
I can agree with you in that sense.
But, all right. Armored Kill, the DLC that's coming in the fall, guys. Uh, there's a lot of talk about how things are going to come down in that from the devs
Yeah,
over at DICE. Uh, the two-man arty thing is not going to happen, mainly because everyone hated it way back in the day where you'd pull the artillery device right to where you wanted it to get the perfect line of sight on shots, and some noob would jump into it and drive you off so you couldn't shoot. So they are making it so it's going to be a one-man, I would presume. And once you can't fire while moving, you're going to have to stop. And what it kind of sounds like is it might have a mortar style map to it when you're in the
yeah, that'd
artillery.
probably make the most sense.
Um, and apparently they're going to put a lot more emphasis on the scout choppers. I kind of riding the fence on that one. I mean, if it comes to an armored warfare type scenario, I think the last thing I really want is a scout chopper. But that's just kind of my thoughts. And apparently they're tweaking the mortars some more and doing some other funky stuff to them. I don't know. I don't ever use mortars really, so
Yeah, I used them to unlock my guns and then just didn't really touch it again. Which I guess
I haven't
speaking of
even.
on that, on the Karkin weapon unlocks, they are avoiding that system for future DLCs.
Well, apparently they're avoiding it after the CQB one because there's still going to be assignments and stuff like that coming in this one that's coming up. But they said after that they're not going to do it anymore.
Well, the one thing
So
we
I don't know if
definitely
it's
know is that there will not be another win X number of squad deathmatch games. So
yes.
that's all I
They
needed to
did
hear.
listen.
Shut up and take my money.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if I'm interested if like later on down the road it's just going to be well, you got the pack, here's the new guns, go play. Or if it's going to be okay, well, you have to do, spend this much time in the maps on the new map
Yeah, I
pack.
reckon that I can't see them getting rid of the unlocks completely because I mean, even with like the new attachments, like you don't get them straight away. You have to work for them, even if you've already met the requirements for them. So I would imagine there's some sort of unlock system in place. It's just what's it going to be?
Yeah. I don't know at this time. It'll be interesting to find out, but that's further down the road. Uh, I'm definitely interested in seeing the largest battlefield map, though. I think that's going to be an awesome 64-man server
Yeah,
map.
I don't know. We'll see how
But
that plays out on console though.
I won't worry about it. um, yeah, they're still waiting around to give us an ETA on the Battlefield patch for Xbox 360. Apparently, there were issues with it, and Microsoft said, "Hey, fix this first." And apparently, Microsoft's QA department is a lot better than Sony's because they probably caught a lot of things that Sony just went, whatever. Because from everything we're being told is it was basically, here's the patch, check it, and Sony went, here, everybody have it, and Xbox went, ein Minuten bitte. You know, so I don't know. Maybe they caught something. Maybe they caught, the lag or the freaking issue with the L85. I don't know. Hard to say at this time. We'll find out whenever it drops and people start complaining about something on the Xbox side. Let's see. Apparently, this kind of sounds interesting. The spectator mode. That kind of sounds like that might be interesting to see down the road.
I can actually see that happening since if you go into your multiplayer menu, as well as all the new server rental options and management, there's now an extra option called matches, which is to sort of arrange your own sort of esports games, sort of MLG game battle style, through battle log. And obviously, the traditional way to moderate those games is to have a couple of guys spectating the other players. So, I mean, there's got to be some sort of system in place for referees to watch games, so I can see that happening.
Yeah, I definitely see that coming down the pipe, and that'll be definitely a lot more helpful for people who want to make skits and stuff like that, too.
There is an intention there on their end to make the game a little bit more esports friendly, so yeah.
Yes. Did you notice anything different with the input lag or anything on your side?
No, because I have actually tested for input lag on my system and I don't have any, so I haven't tweaked my anti-aliasing or anything because there's really no need to. So I don't know if you are someone that does suffer from the input lag, and you know it, then if you go into your options menu, on your main menu, scroll across to video, there's now an anti-aliasing option, and it's pretty much just either on or off. There's no like 4-time, 2-time, 8-time, or whatever. But yeah, that might have a difference. It might not. I mean, so far this whole input lag thing has really been sort of system specific. There's no sort of issue across the board, so it'll either work or it won't. There's no real like fix at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, basically all the suggestions they've ever put out was, try a different controller, do this, do that, but being PC and Xbox, I never got to experience any of it, so I really am kind of like, I don't know what to talk about.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if maybe it's a hardware issue, because it's so sporadic. But I don't know. I mean, my PS3 is a 320 gig Slim, one of the newer ones, and I just use DualShock controllers, and seriously got no input lag whatsoever. So, don't know. It's a mystery.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it's a mystery to DICE. It's a mystery to everyone that's got it. Just, no one knows where it came from. Some people have it, some people don't. It's just one of those things.
And I'm almost wondering if it's, the age of your PS3, whether it's, the old style, the new gens, whatever. But either way, any other little tidbits of news we want to cover real quick, Jez?
I don't know. I guess it's all sort of out there. I mean, unless you want to go over the new servers.
I mean, we've talked about server browser, and honestly, I enjoyed the server browser on console when I was playing with it, but until, the console group starts being a little bit more courteous and more ethical towards each other, I'm probably not going to be over there playing
Yeah,
that.
I went on day one of the patch and there were already quite a few custom servers, so it looks like people are really getting into it. But yeah, they're quite expensive, so I don't see many sort of casual players really getting into that or even seeing it as being viable for sort of practices or anything. I mean, you can have it for like £1.20 for a day in the UK, obviously. Nearly £6 for a week, 20 quid for 30 days, nearly 50 quid for 90 days. So it's going to cost you about £100 a year to have one of these going on console. So
I mean, it would work out great if like you want to like spend the $1.20 or whatever just for the one day, and spend the whole day on like say Caspian border or something, learning to fly, or one of the bigger maps trying to
yeah, that's
fly.
probably what it's mostly going to end up being used for. And it's also probably going to have its main use being in sort of the esports sort of area, game battles, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's where I kind of see that going.
But yeah, what was the other thing? Yeah, some of the Nemesis medals and like ribbons and medals, they've all sort of had, well, not all of them, but some of the trickier ones like the suppression, the infamous suppression ribbon. Uh, the
Hell, all you got to do now is just fire your gun and you'll get a suppression
Yeah,
ribbon.
but
So
that's been reduced from 7 assists to 4 to get a ribbon. Nemesis has been reduced to 30 ribbons to get the medal. Your MCOM attackers and MCOM defenders have both been reduced to 2 to get a ribbon, and anti-explosives has been increased to 3, and air warfare has dropped down to 5. So it's going to be a bit easier to get
honestly,
those.
I think the MCon attacker should have stayed at 3
Yeah,
personally.
MCOM attacker didn't really need a switch. MCOM defender probably did, but maybe not.
Well, it's because MCon Defender was freaking almost impossible to get, and probably still is, because unless they increase the area where you can count the effectiveness for defending the MCon, you have to wait till the guy's like standing right at the MCon and like arming it to shoot him to get the freaking
Yeah,
ribbon
and
for it.
if you're letting them get that close 4 times, I don't know.
Yeah,
It just
I
doesn't really
mean,
happen.
I think I got that ribbon a total of 3 times, and each time I hated doing it because I don't like letting them get that
Yeah,
close to my
I've got
MCon.
well over 100 games of Rush played, and I still don't even have one of those ribbons.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many games of Rush played, and it, it wasn't until a couple of weeks ago that I finally got the first one when I figured out they had to stand right next to it to get it.
Yeah, I remember that was like a big topic of conversation for us for a while.
Yeah,
But
but
yeah, there's been tweaks to the maps, tweaks to all the guns. You'll notice new attachments. Some things have been removed, but yeah, for the most part, I guess it's no good us sitting here telling you how it is. You've really got to feel it because it is quite different.
yeah, you're gonna have to jump in, play it, and make your own opinions of it. We've formed ours, or at least I've formed mine for the most part because I've been playing it a lot.
Yeah, I'll know after tonight whether I like it or hate it.
But you really just gotta check it out, guys. Uh, there are a lot of complaints with the jets and stuff like that too, damn near being impossible to kill with air-to-air missiles and stuff like that. So
I don't know. Yeah, I always like to use my jets in sort of a close air support capacity rather than dogfights. So
I don't ever touch the jets anyway. I know I can't fly those, so I don't bother. And on PC, I'm really not brave enough to take up a chopper gunner and go out there and fly the chopper. So, oh, and apparently with the chopper now, guys, if you like hit the upper part of a telephone pole or whatever, it will no longer knock your chopper out of
oh
the
yeah, I
sky.
read that. It's halfway up, and
It'll like,
then it's like the top half is now there's like no clip on it.
yep, you'll able to keep flying straight through it. Which for people like me who like to fly map of the Earth when
Yeah,
flying, that
that
works out beautifully.
that's gonna be so good. The amount of times I've been taken out just by a nondescript pole is
Yeah,
way too many to.
rand random telephone pole. You know, the kind of telephone pole that stops your tank. Yeah, but I don't think there's much else to cover. Hasn't too much been put out other than what we've talked about. and a bit of our thoughts on the patch so far. If you haven't got a chance to play Five Flag Wake, go do it. You'll
Yeah,
love
it is
it.
a lot of fun, even if it is a bit tricky to find, especially if you're not used to the server browser. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's definitely worth
and
it.
yeah, and if you're a PC guy, you've probably been playing on it before, and you're like, it's nothing new to me, and it's still an absolute
I
blast to
should
play.
probably point out, since I got comments about this, when we say like Five Flag Wake Island, take that literally. Nothing's really changed. There's just two more flags, apart from a
Yes.
couple vehicle spawn tweaks. But yeah, I had some comments like, "Oh, what is that? It? There's just two more flags." It's like, yes, Five Flag Wake is just two more flags. So don't
Yeah.
expect like any new like huge tweaks. Just expect more flags.
No. Basically, all they did for console is they took the Five Flag large Wake Island map and ported it over to console.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't sound like a whole lot, but it really does change the dynamics. It's closer to
It
how it
changes
was
the
in
game quite a bit.
1943, so it's a lot more hectic and a lot more easier to get
Yeah.
into the fight as well because you're not running between three main points. There's, bits in between.
Yeah, there's a lot of fighting that goes down. The air support really comes into its own on that. Uh, Hopefully they'll bring the tanks back to where they're not such pansies anymore, where one rocket will disable it from the front. So, other than that, guys, I don't think we really much have anything else, do we?
No, I mean, there's loads more, but as usual, there'll be links in the description, and you can see all this stuff for yourself, as well as all the tweaks that didn't make it into the patch notes. So yeah.
Oh, there's something to bring up. If after the patch on PlayStation you don't have all of your weapons, try re-downloading your Back to Karkand. There's some
Yeah,
people
which you should
where,
have done anyway. But
well, no, there's been some people after they downloaded the patch and re-downloaded Back to Karkand were missing some of their weapons, like the FAMAS
oh
and stuff like
damn.
that. Just go try and re-download Back to Karkand again, and that should possibly fix that for you guys.
Well, there you go.
So, yep, there's our helpful hint for the day. But since I believe we're all done here, as always, we'll see you on the battlefield and have fun gaming.
Yeah, this should be a good one. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. I'm being suppressed. Frickin' suppression.